Welcome back to JF Coin, your trusted place for discovering the hidden treasures inside your pocket change. Today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the 1971 Lincoln penny. You might think a simple 1-cent coin is not worth much, but when it comes to rare coins and valuable errors, even a penny can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's market. So stay with me until the end because we are going to uncover the history, the minting details, the error varieties, and the current market value of this small copper beauty. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, designed to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1971 issue is part of the Memorial Reverse series that ran from 1959 to 2008. These coins were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, Denver coins carry a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins carry an S mint mark, which is especially important when it comes to proof coins. Now let us go back to 1971 for a moment. America was in the middle of big historical changes. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, the Apollo space missions were in the spotlight, and inflation was starting to change the value of money. Yet in pockets, purses, and cash registers all over the country, the Lincoln penny continued to circulate just as it had for decades. But here is where it gets interesting. Certain pennies from 1971 are worth far more than just 1 cent because of condition, rarity, and mint errors. The 1971 Lincoln penny was made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. That alone makes it a coin of interest for metal value collectors because copper prices have risen sharply over the years. If you have a coin in pristine condition, called mint state, it can be worth significantly more than face value. A perfect condition 1971 penny graded MS67 red can sell for hundreds of dollars. If you are lucky enough to find an even rarer grade like MS67 Plus or MS68, you might be looking at auction prices over $1,000. Errors are where things get even more exciting. One of the most famous error types for the 1971 penny is the double die obverse. This means that during the minting process, the coin die shifted slightly, creating a doubling effect on the lettering or the date. You can see this clearly on words like Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, or the numbers of the date. These double die coins are highly sought after by collectors, and depending on condition, they can be worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, and in some cases much more. Another thing to look for is the 1971 S-proof coins. Proof coins are specially struck with a mirror-like surface for collectors. The 1971 S comes in 2 main types, the standard proof and the Type 1 and Type 2 varieties for certain mint marks. Some proof coins can reach very high prices if they have a perfect grade from grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Now let us talk about the current market value. In today's coin market, even regular circulated 1971 pennies are worth more than 1 cent in copper value alone. But the real money is in high grade and error examples. A typical uncirculated coin can bring you $2 to $5. Rare double die obverse coins can bring anywhere from $100 to over $500 depending on grade. Ultra high grade certified coins have been known to sell for over $2,000 at major auctions. In fact, one of the top sales for a 1971 Lincoln cent reached a market price of over $7,000 for an MS68 red example. That is right, a single penny sold for more than many people's rent for an entire year. The beauty of coin collecting is that these treasures are still out there waiting to be found. You could have a valuable coin sitting in your jar of loose change without even knowing it. That is why careful inspection is key. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the details of the lettering. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling or unusual features. And remember, condition is everything in the coin world. The closer your coin is to perfect mint state, the higher its value will be. So if you find a 1971 Lincoln penny in your change, do not just spend it without a second look. You might be holding a piece of history worth a lot of money. Whether it is a rare mint error, a pristine high-grade example, or a proof coin from San Francisco, these little copper coins are part of America's story and a potential source of profit for smart collectors. At JF Coin, we believe that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story comes with a price tag that will surprise you. Keep your eyes open, check your coins, and you might just find your next hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1971 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video so that more people can learn about the coins hiding in plain sight. Stay tuned for our next episode where we will uncover more valuable coins and share tips on how you can start your own coin collecting journey. This is JF Coin, signing, reminding you, every penny counts, but some count a lot more than others. The place where every coin tells a story and where hidden treasures might be hiding in your pocket change right now. Today, we are going deep into the fascinating history, the mystery, and the current market value of one of the most talked about coins in the United States coin collecting world, the 1973 Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent coin. If you think a single penny is just 1 cent, today you might change your mind forever, because the 1973 penny could be worth way more than you expect, possibly hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and special features. Before we get to the jaw-dropping values, let's take a trip back in time to understand exactly why this coin is so interesting. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, becoming the first United States coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic design. The design on the front, or obverse, was created by Victor David Brenner, and it has stood the test of time with only minor changes over the decades. By 1973, the coin had the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the front, the word Liberty to the left, the year of minting 1973 to the right, and the national motto "In God We Trust" above his head. On the back, or reverse, we had the iconic image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. Now here is where the story gets exciting. In 1973, pennies were struck in copper. Each coin contained about 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a reddish-brown tone when fresh from the mint. That means if you have a genuine 1973 penny, it weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. It feels solid in the hand, unlike the lighter post, 1982 pennies which contain mostly zinc. For coin collectors, this older copper composition adds value, especially for those who appreciate the warm tones and historical authenticity of pre-1982 Lincoln cents, but not all 1973 pennies are created equal. In 1973, these coins were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins do not carry a mint mark, Denver coins have a small D under the date, and San Francisco coins carry an S mint mark and are often proof coins with a mirror-like shine. Proof coins were specially made for collectors and have an extra crisp detail and polish that regular circulation coins do not. What makes some 1973 pennies worth far more than 1 cent is a combination of factors: rarity, condition, and errors. Let's talk about condition first. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with mint state 65 or higher being considered gem quality. A 1973 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth a few cents due to its copper content, but an uncirculated 1973 penny with blazing original color and no wear can be worth several dollars or more. Now if you have a proof coin from San Francisco in perfect condition, the value can jump even higher for collectors who want pristine examples. The real money comes in when you have error coins. Error coins are accidental variations produced during minting that collectors find fascinating and rare. For 1973 pennies, some of the most desirable errors include double die obverse where the date and lettering appear doubled, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, or coins struck on the wrong planchet such as a blank meant for another denomination. These unusual pieces can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and the demand among collectors. Now let's talk about the market. Right now, coin collecting is experiencing a surge of interest as people rediscover the joy of holding history in their hands. The copper value of a 1973 penny alone is already higher than its face value, and collectors are willing to pay even more for coins in top condition. While a common worn 1973 penny might sell for only a few cents, the rarest and most pristine examples have been known to fetch prices ranging from $50 to over $1,000 in auctions. Some incredibly rare varieties and high-grade proof coins have been valued at more than $7,000. Yes, you heard that right, over $7,000 for a single penny. So if you have a 1973 Lincoln penny sitting in your change jar, it's time to look closely. Check the date, check for mint marks, and study the details for any signs of errors. A good magnifying glass and some basic coin knowledge could turn that little copper coin into a small fortune. And remember, every coin has a story. The 1973 penny may have been used in countless transactions over the last 50 years, passing through hands, pockets, and cash registers, yet today it can be a prized possession for a collector or a valuable find for someone who simply looked a little closer. Here at JF Coin, we believe coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a way of preserving history, honoring craftsmanship, and uncovering treasures that connect us to the past. So keep searching your change, keep learning, and who knows, maybe your next discovery will be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1973 Lincoln penny, make sure to like the video, share it with fellow treasure hunters, and subscribe to JF Coin for more exciting coin stories, values, and tips. Your next big find could be just one coin away. Welcome back to JF Coin, the place where coin lovers, collectors, and treasure hunters gather to explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most popular and widely collected coins in American history, the Lincoln 1-cent penny. But not just any penny, we are talking about the 1974 Lincoln penny, a coin that might be sitting quietly in your change jar, your old collection, or even your pocket right now, and yet it could be worth a surprising amount of money depending on its condition, mint errors, and collector demand that we will explore its background, the story behind its minting, what makes certain 1974D pennies valuable, how to identify the rare versions, and what the market value looks like today, with some examples of high auction sales. Stick around until the very end, because I am going to share with you some key tips that could help you identify if you are holding a penny that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with the history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first circulating coin in U.S. history to feature a real person's portrait rather than a symbolic figure. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it has remained on the penny for over a century, though with some changes over time. By 1974, the coin still featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that began in 1959. Now let's talk about the year 1974 specifically. In 1974, the U.S. Mint experimented with different compositions for the penny. Traditionally, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But with rising copper prices in the early 1970s, the Mint was looking for cheaper alternatives. This led to the production of some test strikes made of aluminum in 1974. While these aluminum cents were never released for circulation and are considered illegal to own, the very fact that 1974 was a year of experimentation makes coins from this year especially interesting to collectors. The 1974D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small letter D under the date on the obverse side. Billions of these coins were produced for regular circulation, so most of them are common and only worth face value if they are heavily circulated. However, condition and errors can make a huge difference. If you find a 1974D penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it has no wear and still shows full mint luster, it can be worth more than its face value to collectors. Mint state examples graded MS65 or higher can fetch a premium. In recent years, some high-grade 1974D pennies have sold for $50 to $200 at auction. That's already a big jump from 1 cent, but the real excitement comes from error coins. Mint errors are mistakes that happen during the production of coins. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and more. For example, a 1974D penny with a strong double die obverse, where the date or letters appear doubled under magnification, could be worth hundreds of dollars depending on the strength and clarity of the doubling. Another valuable category is coins with striking anomalies like broad strikes, partial collars, or major die breaks. Collectors love unusual errors because they are unique. No two are exactly the same. The rarity of the error combined with the coin's condition will determine the final price a collector is willing to pay. Now let's address the current market value. As of today, the general value for a regular circulated 1974D penny is still just 1 cent, but uncirculated examples can be worth between $1 and $10. Mint state coins graded MS65 can sell for $25 to $50, and MS67 examples have been known to bring in hundreds. For the rare high-grade coins or spectacular errors, the value can soar into the thousands. In fact, some era 1974D pennies have sold for over $5,000 at major auctions. If you ever come across a pristine 1974D penny with a strange appearance, doubling, or other unusual features, it is worth having it checked by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can greatly increase a coin's value in the eyes of serious collectors. One interesting thing about the 1974D penny market is that copper prices also influence collector interest. Since pre-1982 pennies are mostly copper, they have an intrinsic metal value higher than 1 cent. This means even a common worn 1974D penny has more value in copper content than its face value, though melting US cents is prohibited by law. Now you might be wondering, what about that huge number, $779,338? Well, that is the kind of mind-blowing figure we see with extremely rare coins that are unique, such as experimental strikes, major mint errors, or coins in unbelievable condition. While the average 1974D penny will not be worth anywhere near that amount, the possibility of finding an exceptional example keeps collectors searching. Remember, the coin hobby is not just about value, it is about history, discovery, and the thrill of the hunt. Here is my tip for you. Whenever you go through your change, keep an eye out for shiny pennies from the 1970s. Check the date, look for the mint mark, and inspect it closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. If you see doubling on the date or letters, or if the coin looks oddly struck, set it aside. The more coins you check, the greater your chances of finding something valuable. In conclusion, the 1974D Lincoln penny may seem ordinary at first glance, but it has a fascinating history. It was minted during a year of major experimentation, and it can be worth much more than face value in the right condition or with the right error. Whether you are a new collector or an experienced numismatist, this coin is a great reminder that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching JF Coin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1974 Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more coin stories, values, and market updates. Your next rare find could be just a penny away. Stay curious, keep searching, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome to JF Coin, your trusted source for fascinating stories, rare facts, and up-to-date market values of USA coins. Today we are going to dive deep into the world of the 1989 Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin. This coin might look ordinary to many people, but as you are about to find out, there are details hidden in its history and variations that could make your penny worth far more than just 1 cent. So get comfortable because we are going to explore everything from its origin to the highest prices collectors are willing to pay today. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American coinage for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent. It was also the first American coin to feature the image of a real person. The 1989 version of this coin still carries that legacy. On the obverse side, we see the profile of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," to the left we read the word, "Liberty," and to the right is the year of mintage, which in this case is 1989. The reverse of the 1989 penny features the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo and first introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, inside the memorial you can actually see a tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln, the same one that sits inside the real-life Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Around the top edge are the words, "United States of America," and at the bottom we read, 1 cent. In between is the national motto, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. Now, let us talk about the specifications of the 1989 penny. This coin was struck in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with no mint mark for Philadelphia coins and a small D mint mark under the date for coins from Denver. In 1989, the composition of the penny was 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This was the modern zinc composition introduced in 1982 after the rising cost of copper made solid copper pennies too expensive to produce. The diameter of the coin is 19 millimeters and it weighs 2.5 grams. Here's where things get exciting. Even though billions of 1989 pennies were made, certain coins can be worth far more than face value. This is where coin grading, errors, and condition come into play. Uncirculated 1989 pennies in pristine condition can fetch far more from collectors. A coin graded MS-68 read by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The most valuable 1989 penny known to date reached astonishing prices at auction because of its flawless condition and eye-catching luster. Collectors also hunt for error coins from 1989. These errors can include center strikes, double dies on the obverse or reverse, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Even a small doubling on the date or lettering can make your coin significantly more valuable. A dramatic center error where part of the design is missing can sell for impressive amounts. Always check your coins carefully under good lighting and magnification, because even a penny that seems ordinary could have a hidden flaw that turns it into a treasure. Now let us focus on the current market value. As of today, some rare varieties and high-grade examples of the 1989 Lincoln penny are fetching incredible amounts from serious collectors. The reported market range for top-tier examples is reaching figures you would not believe. Coins with exceptional strike, bright red luster, and no visible wear have been valued in the market for amounts such as $779.345 or even more in extraordinary cases. Yes, that is hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single 1-cent coin. However, it is important to understand that not every 1989 penny will be worth that much. The majority of circulated examples you find in pocket change are still worth only 1 cent, unless they have a rare error or are in mint state condition. The real value comes from rarity, demand, and perfection in the coin's details. That is why many collectors buy rolls of pennies and search them one by one, hoping to discover a gem that others have overlooked. The 1989 penny also has historical significance beyond its market value. It represents the final years of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which would be replaced in 2009 by the bicentennial Lincoln designs and later by the Union Shield reverse in 2010. Holding a 1989 penny is like holding a piece of the bridge between the older copper Lincoln cents and the modern zinc era, between the long-standing Memorial reverse and the more recent Shield reverse. For new collectors, the 1989 penny offers a perfect starting point. You can easily find them in circulation, and learning to spot high-grade coins or rare errors will sharpen your skills as a numismatist. For advanced collectors, a 1989 penny in the highest grades or with a major mint error can be a prestigious addition to any collection. Before you rush to check your coins, here's a tip from JF Coin. Always handle your coins by the edges to avoid fingerprints, store them in a cool, dry place, and consider having rare finds graded by a reputable grading service. This not only confirms authenticity and condition but also increases the coin's value in the eyes of potential buyers. In conclusion, the 1989 Lincoln penny may seem like just another small piece of change, but in the world of coin collecting, it holds potential for both historical appreciation and financial gain. From its origins honoring America's beloved president to its role in modern numismatic markets, this humble coin continues to fascinate collectors around the world. Whether you find one worth a few dollars or one that could change your life with a six-figure auction price, the journey of searching and discovering is where the real treasure lies. This is JF Coin, bringing you the stories, values, and secrets of USA coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1989 Lincoln penny, make sure to subscribe, share this video with fellow collectors, and keep your eyes open for that next valuable find in your pocket change. Because remember, the next coin you discover could be worth a lot more than you think. Welcome back to JF Coin, your ultimate destination for rare coin facts, coin history, and hidden treasures sitting right inside your pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into the world of one of the most collected and loved coins in the United States, the Lincoln penny 1 cent. This is not just any Lincoln penny. We are going to talk about its rich history, the fascinating 2012 series, the market value right now, and how some examples can be worth way more than you think. Stay tuned, because you might be holding a small piece of history worth a lot of money. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the very first circulating coin in the U.S. to feature a real person instead of the symbolic designs used before. The original design featured Lincoln's portrait on the front, known as the obverse, and wheat ears on the back. Over time, designs changed, with the famous Lincoln Memorial reverse appearing in 1959, and then the Union Shield reverse starting in 2010. By 2012, the penny was well into its shield reverse era. The year 2012 might not seem so long ago, but for coin collectors it is already a significant period. Many 2012 Lincoln cents are common in regular circulation, but there are certain varieties, errors, and mint condition coins that command surprisingly high prices in the collector's market. You see, not all pennies are created equal. The difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars lies in details such as mint marks, strike quality, and rare errors. In 2012, Lincoln cents were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were made for everyday use, but San Francisco coins were struck in smaller numbers, specifically for collectors. These proof coins often have a deep, mirror-like shine and extremely sharp details, making them highly desirable in the numismatic community. Now, here is where things get exciting. While most circulated 2012 Lincoln pennies are still worth face value, certain high-grade examples graded MS-69 or MS-70 by professional grading companies can fetch incredible prices. A perfect MS-70 2012 Lincoln penny with a satin or proof finish can sell for hundreds of dollars, and rare varieties can go even higher. There are also error coins from 2012 that are highly sought after, including double dies, off-center strikes, and coins with unusual plating issues. Some of these rare errors can bring in prices from $50 to several $100s depending on rarity and demand. Collectors and investors are always watching the penny market. Right now, the market value for rare and high-grade 2012 Lincoln cents can range dramatically. Common circulated ones still pass through your hands every day, but those flawless proof coins and unique errors are in a completely different league. At the time of this recording, there are auction records showing top-grade 2012 proof pennies selling for over $779, and in some extreme cases certain varieties and errors have been valued into the thousands. Imagine pulling one out of your change jar and realizing it could pay for a weekend getaway or even more. The history behind the Lincoln penny adds even more charm. Abraham Lincoln is a figure respected not only in the United States but around the world for his leadership and his role in ending slavery. Having his portrait on such a small yet powerful piece of currency is a way to carry a little history in your pocket. Each penny has traveled, passed through countless hands, and carries its own story. The 2012 series continues that legacy, representing over a century of design evolution and American history. For collectors, the fun is in the hunt. You never know when that 1 cent coin in your hand could be a rare treasure. This is why I always encourage people to check their coins carefully. Look for strong details, sharp edges, and no visible scratches or wear. If you think you have a proof coin or an unusual error, it might be worth sending it to a grading service for authentication and valuation. Even a small investment in grading can multiply the value of your coin many times over if it turns out to be something special. The Lincoln penny market is one that continues to surprise experts. Prices for certain coins have been climbing as more people take interest in coin collecting. In fact, many young collectors are now joining the hobby, partly because they can start by searching through pocket change without spending much. This keeps demand strong and helps rare coins maintain their value. In conclusion, the 2012 Lincoln penny 1 cent is more than just a small copper-plated coin. It is part of a proud tradition, a piece of American heritage, and for some lucky collectors, it can be a ticket to a nice profit. Whether you find one worth a few cents or a few $100s, the joy of discovering something valuable in everyday life is what makes coin collecting so exciting. So the next time you get a handful of change, remember to take a closer look. You just might be holding a 2012 Lincoln penny that is worth way more than you think. This is JF Coin, reminding you that treasure is often hiding in plain sight. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, the next coin you find could change your collection forever. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy collecting.